Halo Bapak Ibu, welcome to another session with PGRI Sidoarjo and STKIP PGRI Sidoarjo programs called English for All Teachers. So in this training, we're going to move to the unit 12, which is the recount text. So we are going to talk and discuss more about recount text in this session. Bapak Ibu, as usual, before we begin the whole material and discussion, we always have a learning objectives. So in this session, we knew about the basic concept of recount text. We also understand how to explain and also how to create and communicate a recount text. Okay, as usual, we have the rules of the game, Bapak Ibu. There are three important things that we have to do and we have to follow. First, we have to speak up in English. Second, we have to be active. And then the third one, we have to be happy. So, please, during throughout the discussion, these three rules are being applied and implemented. Okay, Bapak Ibu? Right. Now I'm going to talk a bit about this experience. Does any one of you in here have experience? For sure. As human beings, we always have experience. It is something that we have done in the previous days, months, or even just minutes. We can call it as experience. So experience, Bapak Ibu, can be happy, just like as bright as the sun. It's warm and it's heartwarming, it's full of love and everything. But some experience might be also very gloomy. It can create sadness and everything. So it's part of living, Bapak Ibu. Previously, we can be as bright and as happy as the sun. And now we can be as cloudy, as gloomy, as sad as uh, the cloud or the raining. Yeah. So it's okay. What matters in the experience is that the most important thing in the experience is that we learn from it. We always have something to keep, something to store, which is more important for our life. So from the sadness and also from the goodness in life, we learn how to respond and to do better as a human being. So Bapak Ibu, basically when we talk about experience, there is a text in English study that focuses on our experiences. So those type of text is called as the recount text. So in recount text, Bapak Ibu, basically is a text that telling the reader about one story or one action or activity. But it is not enough. The definitions continues to the goal of the recount text itself. So recount text is created to entertain or informing the reader. So, and then the third point, which is the most important one that we have to uh, put as the main concern, as we previously know that and discuss about experience, the sad one, the happy one, or the most important thing we learn from it. Recount text is a text which retells event or experiences in the past, Bapak Ibu. So it is something that has been done. So we use recount text to basically telling a story, and it has a main function to entertain and inform. But most important one, the keynote one, is that it is something that was done in the past as part of our experiences. So what is the social function? The social function of the recount text is that to retell events or for the purpose of informing and entertaining. Underlining the word retell means that we talk again, we discuss again, we inform to others about what we have experienced or what we have been doing previously. So now take a look at this example, Ibu. So Bapak Ibu, you can take a look at this example. Trip to South Korea. From the title, we already knew that the reader want to retell something that makes her maybe happy or sad. And it is specifically done in South Korea. So in this, from the title only, we can guess the social function. So this text from these three paragraphs mainly talk about experience, retelling the event that has been experienced by the reader In this case, the first person is with using I, Bapak Ibu. So in the text trip to South Korea, we can just guess in a temporary way that, oh, this is going to be a discussion about the reader experiences in South Korea. And now we move to the generic structure. We previously see from the example that there are three forms and also three paragraphs. So for the first or the opening, it is called as the orientation, Bapak Ibu. So it gives the readers the background information needed to understand the text, such as who was involved, where it happened, and when it happened. And then next we move to the events. So in the event, this is a series of events ordered in a chronological sequence. And then last but not least is reorientation. So it is a personal comment about the event or what was happened in the end, Bapak Ibu. So in the orientation, now we can take a look at the example. First, it is still the text about trip to South Korea. I spent my last summer in Seoul, South Korea. I went there with my friends. Previously, we witnessed that it gives the reader background information about who was involved. So, the one that are involved is I and also the friends. And where was it? Where it happened and when it happened? It is on the last summer holiday and the place is Seoul, South Korea. So it is clear, Bapak Ibu. It is the orientation. Next, we move to the events. Well, in the event, we retell all of the detail, what we do in Seoul, South Korea, what the reader and his or her friends do in the Seoul, South Korea. So, for example, land in Incheon Airport and then went to Seoul by train and then went to Hongdae, the famous district there, and eat traditional food, and also Gyeongbokgung Palace and National Museum, and then learn how to make kimchi, went to hotel, and then the last day in Myeongdong and buying some souvenir and stuff. So it is the detailed events in order. So as an example, we can see that there is a sign of on the first day. So it is the starting, and then we can see in the almost in the last sentence that the reader closed it by going to the airport. So it is the sequence event from the arrival until the departure. Last, in the reorientation, basically personal comment. So the reader turns out it is a great experience. It is not a sad experience. For example, the reader said, the author said that I had a fantastic experience in South Korea and made a wonderful memory with my friends. It was a great trip. It was a great trip. So in this personal comment section or reorientation, we can see that the author feels really happy. So the author retells a good experience, the happy one. Now we move to the language features, Bapak Ibu. So language feature is some aspects that we have to consider. First, because we retell something that was done, which is in the past, so we use past tense. It can be past continuous, past perfect continuous. Next, it also use temporal sequence, such as on Saturday, on Monday, on Sunday. So we give detail to the time. Temporal relates to time. Focus on specific participant, the writer or the author, only one person, for example, the first person point of view, for example. And then we use conjunctions such as then, before, after, and then the last we use action verb. Now as we move to the next example, where we can spot the past tense, for example, we can see it from the verb that is used. For example, span, and then when, and also decided with suffix ed, and then when again. We also see that span and ate, had, and so forth, made, and so forth. So Bapak Ibu, we can see that this is a good example of recount text because it used past tense. Next, it's also use a temporal sequence. For example, on the first day, we can see it there. And then we can also see some conjunctions such as then, And not only that, it also focus on specific participants such as I. So it's not an other or random person, it is I. So it is from the author's point of view. It also use some of the active verbs Bapak Ibu such as spend, when, and also ate, for example. So that is the language features that we can find in the recount text, especially the text about happy experience to have a trip to South Korea. So this part of text is basically the happy experience or the happy memory. So now Bapak Ibu, thank you so much for listening to the whole discussion on recount text. Please do the exercise. So thank you.